Being very honest with you, I'm not a fan of smart speakers. I really don't like the concept of a speaker doing too much more than it needs to. And what it really needs to do is sound good. So this has got a lot of features going on with it, which is pretty cool. But I basically do want to break down how this sounds more than anything else. Now, considering I feel the way I do for smart speakers, why do I have this? Well, my dad just picked this up a few days ago and he's been insisting that I review this. So thank you to my dad for providing your speaker for this review, of course. And I have been spending a few days with it. And to be very honest with you, when I first unboxed it and listened to it, it wasn't too impressive. But after spending a few days with it and running it in, it has opened up for sure. So anyway, let's jump straight into how this is built. So of course, when you do open it up, you get pretty much everything you need, which is the power cable. You do get the literature that you'll have to go through to figure it out, and you get the speaker as well. Now, this unit in particular is the latest version of the Amazon Echo Studio, and it is completely fabric wrapped except for the front and the rear of it that has this open section at the front and the rear. Now, this is like a venting port for the down firing subwoofer, and then there is a similar fabric wrapped section on top which also has an upward firing speaker. So in total, it does have about 3, 4, 5 speakers in this. They're all active speakers, so this does do a good job. I will break down the sound in the chapter about sound. The lower section of this does have like a nice rubber grip mat, so whatever surface you put it on, it should hold on true and it should move around very much. Now, it does have a good amount of weight that is also holding it down, and I don't think it will shift around even when you play it at loud volumes, so that lower frequency won't make it shift around. That usually happens with much lighter speakers. This certainly has a good amount of weight to it. Moving to the controls, it does have a mute microphone option button. It does have a volume up and down button, and it does have another button over here which I did use during setup. It was more so for resetting this a few times. I did have to reset this about 3 or 4 times. In fact, it wasn't very easy to set up. It is definitely a very finicky setup. This is in part why I don't like smart speakers. You will also see multiple openings on the top. Now, these are various microphones that are placed around the speaker, which will actively keep resetting the way your speaker sounds. Not that you'll be able to tell a night and day difference every time it resets, but basically it's trying to calibrate itself to each environment you shift it to. So it can be in the corner of your room, the middle of your room, or under some shelf or something, and it will calibrate itself to sound the best in that specific setting. Then when you move on over to the back, there is the AC inlet. Of course, here's where you plug in the power cable to get it going. It does have a micro USB input. I presume this is only for service, and it does have an auxiliary and optical input. So this is of course for when you want to plug it in to a TV or a music player that is of course separate to your Amazon stuff. But I don't think most people will want to do this, considering you can link up to a lot of music streaming services, which should make your connectivity that much easier. Feature wise, this has got everything you need really. You have to have the Alexa app on your phone, you have to have Amazon Music, and I've downloaded Amazon Music on my phone after a very long time. In fact, I think my last playlist that was generated was for 2021, and I think I shifted over to Apple Music around that time when it became available here in India, and I've not really found the need to go back. And after using this app for a few days, I've figure out why I don't want to go back also, because it is, it's a bit sluggish, it's a bit slow to respond. It's not as snappy as Apple Music is, of course. So I do prefer Apple Music, certainly. Now, the thing is, you have to sync a whole lot of other things with the Alexa app. Like if you want Apple Music, sync Apple Music with it. You have to sync Spotify with it and so on to let the music stream onto this. This is not something I did want to do when I was testing it, and it's temporary since my dad is going to be taking this back. So I've literally just played off of Amazon Music, and it's obviously compressed stuff. But moving on to the sound, despite listening to compressed stuff, this thing is a fairly good performer. Now, it does have 5 speakers. It does have 2 that are firing sideways. There's one that's firing forward, one up, and there is a down firing subwoofer. And it's not a very large driver, but I have to say it did sound very anemic, at least for the first 2 days when I was listening to this. And I in typical fashion, when I'm listening to speakers, I like to do a run-in. I mean, do it or don't. Nobody's holding a gun to your head. But I found that after maybe a proper 24-hour run-in, it started opening up. It started getting more energetic in the bass. It's much fuller sounding for certain. Now, no doubt placement of this is crucial as well, because if you really do want to get a sense of space from this speaker, now very honestly speaking, it is one point source in the sense it is an area of only that big. So technically it's a mono speaker, but because the way it's throwing sound around, because of the placement of its speakers, it can tend to give you a much wider presentation than its area alone. So when you want to experience that, you'll have to be closer to it. So when it's on my desk, and if I was listening to it at, let's say, this range where I'm maybe about 2 or 3 feet away while I'm doing things in my studio, it does have a good sort of space to it. It is wider than I did expect it to be. In fact, there were some songs I was listening to where some percussion was coming from a good 2.5, 3 feet away from the speaker, which was kind of weird to imagine, but it is capable of doing something like that, especially in near field. The minute you start moving away from the speaker, let's say if you put it in your living room and you're doing something else in another room, it's irrelevant. Really having that much sound being thrown here and there is kind of irrelevant, especially if you're listening to it actively. But anyway, moving on to the rest of it. Well, volume-wise, this thing is surprisingly a very loud speaker. It can get very loud. It's not something I'd recommend listening to very loud, because avoid listening to any sounds above 85 decibels for prolonged periods of time if you want to preserve your hearing, because you will damage your ears if you overexpose to loud noises. This speaker can definitely go well above, I've seen it above 105 decibels. And if I'm not mistaken, it can do 109, 110-ish in near field. So, I mean, it's loud enough for your parties. If you want to have a get together and you only want to pick up one speaker and not too many in your home, this is definitely going to get the volume for certain. When it comes to its overall stage, like I did mention, it's kind of wideish near field, but when you're further away, not really. Imaging wise, it's surprisingly clean. It's a well detailed enough speaker to be able to enjoy a nuance. But the minute you start throwing heavier tracks at it, and by heavier tracks I mean more dynamic tracks with more information in them, the speaker starts to struggle a bit. It's not very well detailed with a more complex audio track, whether it's compression at play or whether it's just a dynamic issue is a big question mark, because as far as I know, this can only support lower bitrate audio. I don't think this will do high-res audio. Then again, I have not tried out Apple Music on it because I didn't want to latch my Apple Music with Amazon for my own reasons. And then when you move on to its highs, mids, lows, well, honestly, when it comes to its overall sound, it's surprisingly fun to listen to. I did find it to be a little too forward in the mid-range. So a lot of vocals tend to be a little too in your face. I do prefer slightly step back vocals, because it does have a presence where it feels like it's getting in your personal space, which I'm not a fan of. It's nicer when vocals do appear to come from a slight distance. So thankfully, the Alexa app does give you a 3-band EQ. Now, it's not too much control, but you can just dial it down by about 2 points. At least I found 2 or 3 points tends to make all the music I'm listening to a lot more fun. It's a lot more balanced in that sense. Then the high frequencies do have a good amount of shimmer to them. It is definitely well detailed. It is definitely a nice soft listen. I wouldn't call it supple in its delivery. It is a little more aggressive than I'd like. But then again, considering this is going to be a casual listening speaker, I'd say it's more of a casual listening speaker, because nobody is sitting in front of a single speaker to listen to music actively. I'd say people are doing that with a stereo setup. This, on the other hand, is elevated to an extent where even if you're in another room, you can hear the chirps and chimes and sparkle. It comes through fairly clearly. And at the same time, it's not offensive. It's not overly done where it's going to cut through your ear. The lower frequencies, this is the range where I did think that was really, it was really boring to listen to, at least for the first few days. But the more intense music I started playing over that burn-in period, the more I noticed it was getting a little heftier. It was able to carry itself much better than it did originally. So I've thrown some heavier music at it, and by heavier, I don't mean rock, I mean EDM. And EDM, I didn't think this would be able to do, considering the sub driver is as small as it is, but it is able to push out really low frequencies. And I think having this downfiring one with the venting ports on the front and the back really do give it a massive advantage, especially when you place the speaker near a corner of the room or much closer to a wall, because it is able to envelop the room that much better depending on placement. And again, those mics are helping it set itself up for the best sound for the environment you put it in. So I have shifted it to between a few places, and it definitely does a lot better in a larger room. we do have physics to thank for that, because a lower frequency obviously needs more space to move. If you go close to the speaker, there's not as much bass. The wave has not had enough time to really, envelop in itself and get much larger. The minute you go further away from the speaker, it starts getting much larger, and it's definitely a lot more fun sounding at a distance, at let's say a volume of maybe 50%. So it's definitely fun sounding in the lower frequencies. So generally, on a sound front, I'd say it's definitely a pretty good performer. It's something that I wasn't expecting, honestly. I didn't think that Amazon would be able to push out something that sounded as good and as fun as this. But my only negative, I'd say, is that it's too forward sounding in the mids, but thankfully they have included that 3-band equalizer that you can tweak, of course. So would I recommend this? Well, on a sound front, I'd say it's a very nice sounding speaker. It's definitely not for an audiophile, in the sense it's not a very dynamic sounding speaker. I don't think it can really handle itself with busier tracks. Then again, it's also a mono speaker. I mean, I categorize it as a mono because it is still, one point source. You can put it to your left, or you can put it to your right, or you can put it in the middle. There's only so much it can throw to the side. So, I mean, it's great the way it does it, but it's not, it won't keep a stereophile happy. It won't keep an audiophile happy. So if you're just looking for a speaker that you want music for, you want to, have a speaker on to entertain your guests at low listening volumes, or if you even want a speaker to be playing music in the house while you go about your business with your chores and everything, it's a great speaker to get for your house, for certain. When it comes to the features and usability, I am not too happy with the way things work. Things are kind of sluggish with the app, with the Alexa app, with the Amazon Music app. It's not very intuitive. It takes a while to respond and react. I would have preferred something that was snappier, but I suppose Amazon can and will be working on these software things. And honestly, being very front here, if you guys do want to know more about the features and how it functions, I think you'll have to look at other reviews. I'm not too into that. I'm more into the sound of this. But if you are planning on buying this, I would recommend it for the sound, for certain. They have definitely done a good job. And of course, if you do want to buy it, it is available on Amazon for 22,999 rupees. So you can, of course, pick this up if you'd like to. It can pair with your, your Amazon Music, your Apple Music, Spotify, Jio, Saavn, you name it. It's all mentioned on the Amazon link. In fact, I will leave this link down below. You can go check it out. If you want to buy it, feel free to buy it. It's entirely up to you. But yeah, I mean, if you're looking for something that you just want to pick up and forget, just play sound in the background. You don't want to be too concerned about how your music system's operated, and you just want to get it going from your phone. This is a great unit you can plug in and just get going. And there's no need for a battery, of course, that you keep charging, because this is plugged directly into the wall. So all in all, great sounding, and I would recommend this if you do want something that sounds nice enough, and you are not looking for too much detail and dynamic range, especially if you're not an audiophile. I think it will suit you very well. So anyway, there you have it. That's my quickish review on the Amazon Echo Studio. And of course, I do hope that this video has given you all the information you want about this speaker. And I do hope that it will help you make some sort of purchase decision. If you would like to help support the channel, I'm sure you know exactly how to. But of course, thank you for tuning in for some sound advice.